75% year to date. Are crypto companies uninvestable at this point?
No, I wouldn't say that. There's two categories of crypto companies: ones that use leverage and ones that don't. Now, when you have a very volatile asset and you have the fortitude, I'm going to use that word, to use leverage to enhance your returns, you also run the downside risk of what happens when there's a major correction, as is occurring right now. You can get caught offside pretty quickly. And so Celsius, that's a good example of that. And I don't want this to sound trite, but let me explain how bottoms are made in any market. I don't care if you're in equities or in debt or in crypto or in real estate. You always need a big player to go to zero. That always helps, whether it's long-term capital or whether it's one of these crypto infrastructure companies. I would like to see, and I don't want this to happen, but it always gives you a good bottom when you get a large player over levered that goes to zero. And that always tends to be the beginning of the rebuilding process. So if you have to sacrifice someone who used too much leverage, and it's always leverage that does this, somebody's over levered, positions are complicated, they're not transparent, they're not liquid, and they go to zero. Someone is out there on the brink of zero. That's okay. In fact, I'd argue that's a good thing when we get it. Now, do we get it this week? Do we get it next week? Someone's going to zero. I don't know who, but it'll be great for everybody else that survives because everybody will learn from that. And that's what I like about a washout, an event. And I think we're due for one in crypto land. And I don't know who it's going to be, but I guarantee you 100%, I've seen this movie before, you will learn later that somebody put on a heavily levered position. They got wiped out. And it's good. It's a good thing.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. And we have everyone talking about how bad stocks and cryptos are. And we have Kevin Lurie says a big name is going to zero and he guarantees it. So guys, we know he's lying. We know the billionaires do not tell us the truth. They never give us the whole truth. Yes, a lot of cryptos are going to zero. We know they have to build the fourth industrial revolution. And we know half of that 1% is going to rise along with tech stocks. And we have CZ from Binance also talking about the volatility. Instead of him saying the markets are rigged. Guys, markets go up and down because why? Because of the Fed. They control the money supply. When they increase it like they did, printed 20% of all money in existence in 1 year, causing all this inflation. And now they're going to shrink it to bring America to Babylon to its knees. So therefore, the robots, algorithms, and drones can take over the economy and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And then we have the politicians. Are the politicians going to tell you the truth? They're invested in crypto, which we know they are. We know the politicians, big corporations, big banks have been investing in crypto from the beginning. How do you think this thing is getting built? Big money has come in over the last 2 years. Guys, I go over the series funding rounds. Hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars are coming in to build. Do not forget this is Shmita year. And then, guys, we have gaming. We know how gaming is so important to the millennials and Generation Z. This is the NWO's secret weapon. For the little kids, we know Roblox is big. These virtual goods, virtual gaming. And we know these pay-to-earn games are going to take over as this economy keeps shrinking. And remember, the crypto teacher told you because he knows. When it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Because I've seen volatility like this in the past. There are certain assets where I might put leverage on, but it won't be in crypto. I mean, when you see volatility of 50% on an 11-month basis, which we're seeing in Bitcoin, 60%, 20% days on Ethereum, you can't afford to put leverage on that. But, people will learn their lessons. This is a good thing in the sense that this generation of crypto investors has not gone through corrections like this and not gone through them with leverage. Now they're going to learn an important lesson. Everybody I know that has survived volatility has had a very important lesson or a date with leverage. And they didn't have a great dance that night, I must tell
you. Is there a problem with Bitcoin?
The problem with stock markets, right? So Netflix is down 70% or so. Is that a problem? It's the same. It's the same thing. In a market, you actually want volatility. If it just stays at one to one, who's going to invest? So in markets, there's always ups and downs, and we've seen Bitcoin go through 4-year markets, 4-year cycles. Today, it's still higher than the 2017 highest all-time high. So
to what you were saying about the politicians, like for example, one of our writers today, Stacey Elliott, put out a list of all the politicians who in some way were associated with crypto. Now, they're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you what they spent their, which Bitcoin, the Bitcoin, how much Bitcoin, how much Ethereum they have. But through research, through digging, you find this thing because they have to be just as accountable as everybody else.
I've been around in the industry for a while, as you can tell from the gray hair here, but we've seen some of these patterns before. You know, when gaming shifts, there's a lot of emotion. And I think when we saw this with free-to-play games on mobile, we had a lot of similar reactions, like, whoa, this isn't what I'm used to, this is not a normal game, these aren't real game economies, these aren't real players. And now it's 70% of a $220 billion industry. So we've seen a little of this before, but also, I mean, somewhat a little rightfully so. I think there's been a huge emphasis on this play to earn, or like, I'm gonna make money, I'm gonna get rich quick off of these video game assets, and that's not really what people are in it for. So I think what the industry is what's going to turn the industry and turn the gamers into this is when, you know, we get to real games. You know, we have lore and world building, and there's real utility around why do I have this, not just, yeah, I can sell it. Once we have that, I think we're going to see a huge influx of mainstream gamers into the space.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends. So therefore, we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.